It's a pleasure to welcome the founder and CEO of Pilot Fiber, Joseph Fasone. Nice to meet you.
Thanks for having me.
You bet. So first let's talk a little bit about Pilot Fiber, and then we'll talk about what you're doing in 2018 that's innovative and different. So tell us a little bit about your company.
Yeah, Pilot is a modern connectivity company. We're founded in New York. We power over 100 million square feet of commercial real estate with a new fiber optic network we've built over the last 4 years that's built not only for tenants, but now for owners as well. So we connect not only to the internet, but to other office and data center locations, and to cloud providers like Microsoft Azure, which we just heard from, Salesforce, Amazon, and more.
When I hear people talking about Pilot, they seem to imply that Pilot's different. It's not your normal, it's not your father's fiber company. What is it that you guys are doing that's getting you this reputation?
Well, we started with a focus on customer experience, and we invented that all the way from the physical plant up. Right. So when we first came into the industry, we had and still have, I believe, the smallest fiber footprint in a building that'll allow each and every one of your tenants to get anywhere from 100 megabit to 100 gigabit connectivity with no electronics in your building and no dedicated riser space, no complicated closets. The infrastructure was so small compared to what they were used to that they couldn't believe that they were able to get such bandwidth with literally no cable.
And so, okay, let's say I'm a company and I want to put a modern connectivity company like fiber in my portfolio. What's the advantage?
So now we're actually finding it's twofold. One is that tenants want flexibility. They want a provider that can be agile, that can scale up and down with their business's needs. And unlike traditional telecoms, Pilot will let you do that by the hour, by the day, by the month, without any long-term contract. So we could really respond rapidly to the demands of their business. But we're actually finding that the owners themselves, which traditionally used to be like, hey, fiber's an amenity for my tenants,
right,
are now actually the key customers themselves. And not their tenants. So the entire conference is about new technologies for the buildings themselves. Those technologies require fiber connectivity. It requires secure networking solutions across a vast portfolio to deliver life safety, BMS, and all sorts of automation. And Pilot's fiber makes that possible for owners.
How are you able to do that? I mean, how are you able to provide so much value for, it seems like you're able to base your pricing model very fairly, no contracts. What's the secret?
I think it's twofold. One is a lot of technological innovation. So we have our own optical technology that we use that allows us to be much more efficient with the fiber and put many more customers and much more bandwidth over it. So it prevents us from having to rip up the street and the sidewalk over and over again. And the second is that we saw the need to vertically integrate construction and engineering into our business, that it couldn't be outsourced like most of other telecoms do it, and that allows us to really have a very extensive quality control process and move very quick compared to a lot of other telecom providers.
It must have taken a lot of vision to understand, when did you start fiber?
4 years ago.
So how did you have this all planned out in your head such that you were able to do all this and realize that you needed all that integration right away?
So I was a customer for a long time. I built out technology at WeWork for 4 years, and I was buying fiber left and right, and so I saw the very reactive nature of this business and the very slow and kind of almost draconian paperwork process that everyone would go through before a shovel even met the road. And so for me, I just saw a tremendous opportunity to build a more innovative business on top of this legacy business model.
What excites you about what you do at Fiber?
A couple of things. I think seeing the real-world applications of how people use the fiber. We have cancer research institutes, genomic research institutes. We have people that are running large financial institutions on our fiber, and it's kind of tremendous to see how people are using bandwidth that wasn't available to them 3-4 years ago.
And where are you going in the future? And one question I have for you is, how do you ensure security? Because that seems to be one of the themes that's really got everyone concerned this year is security. So how do you secure your fiber?
So a couple of ways. The first that we're thinking about, we have it rolled out today, is optical encryption. So we can actually, on the device we place in your office or building, encrypt traffic as soon as it leaves your computer. When it goes over our network, it's fully encrypted, and it gets decrypted on the other side. And the second is we actually built out a nationwide network encompasses about 35 facilities in 28 cities. And the reason we did that is we don't want your data to leave Pilot's network and enter the public internet. So now we have the ability, if you're a landlord in New York and you have a building in San Francisco, we can carry your data from end to end without ever leaving our network and going on to another provider or the open internet. And so I think security for us is twofold. It's one, maintain control of that bit byte packet at all times.
Yeah.
And second is, kind of be one of the market leaders in optical encryption, so that you can offer true security for your clients.
It's fascinating, and I guess my last question to you is, what's next for fiber?
It's a good question. I mean, for us, we continue to expand our building footprint by about 20 new buildings a month, and so we imagine to double our square footage over the next few years, and continue to expand throughout the country and service more property owners.
As we conclude here, Joseph, what is it that you would love everyone here attending Realcomm, people watching us on Conference Live, what do they need to know about choices they make, the things they enact when it comes to creating their own fiber networks?
I think I want everyone to know that not all fiber is created equally, and it's important to partner with a flexible and adaptive provider that can scale bandwidth into the future very easily, and to recognize that fiber used to be an amenity. We knew it was a utility 2 years ago, and now we're seeing that it's important that building owners embrace it as part of their automation strategy as well.
Joseph, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Joseph Fasone from Pilot Fiber.